Hi everyone, it's Jay again from the Sharda Bakers team, and I'm very pleased to welcome you all to another Sharda Bakers Dog World webinar. Today we'll be talking about two very interesting but troublesome topics for dog owners: dangerous dog foods, allergies, and toxins, plus understanding pack structure and the problems created from over-humanizing your dog. But before we start, a little bit of housekeeping. Some of you may not have been in a webinar like this before, so just to explain, there is a chat window in the top right-hand corner which keeps hiding. To activate it, simply click on the small red arrow and the chat box will pop out. There's a section at the bottom of this chat window where you can type in text, so please say hello and let us know what type of dog breed you have to make sure everything is working properly. You can also add any questions you may have in here during the webinar, and depending on time, we will either answer some of them at the end of the webinar or collate them together and answer them on the upcoming webinar next week. So what's coming up in today's training? Today we'll be discussing avoiding allergies and toxins from dangerous dog foods, the concept of pack structure and how important it is in understanding and training your dog to fit into the family structure, and the little understood subject called anthropomorphism, or humanizing your dog. So let's get started. First, we're going to be talking about avoiding allergies and toxins from dangerous dog foods. You should always remember that not all foods that are suitable for humans are suitable for dogs. In fact, some of them can be dangerous and even fatal. Some will lead to dog food allergies, and some will be much more harmful. There may be numerous items around your home that could be attractive to dogs, but which could also be quite dangerous. Immediate action and treatment can help to reduce symptoms as well as prevent long-term damage or even death. These are just samples of some commonly seen dangerous items that dogs could eat around the house. Apples. When dogs consume large amounts of fruits such as apples and even apricots, these foods can be toxic to dogs. The most dangerous parts of these foods are the seeds, leaves, and stems. This is because they usually contain a compound that is similar to cyanide. Signs of cyanide poisoning in your dog may include dilated pupils, apprehension, hyperventilation, difficulty breathing, and possibly shock. When these symptoms are present, you should always seek assistance from your vet. Amitraz. This is an insecticide that is present in certain brands of topical solutions and dog tick collars. Toxicity generally occurs in puppies who ingest the ingredient. In most cases, symptoms begin within just a few hours. The dog will often become lethargic and weak. Vomiting and diarrhea may also be present. A coma can occur without treatment as well as death. Again, see your vet immediately for treatment. Amphetamine. Human medications can be quite dangerous to dogs too. Amphetamines are commonly used as appetite suppressants as well as to elevate the mood. These medications can affect the dog's nervous system and the brain. Toxic symptoms typically occur within a couple of hours and may include hyperacidity, restlessness, tremors, and seizures. Call the vet immediately for the best chance of recovery. Amaryllis. Ingestion in the dog may result in depression, diarrhea, vomiting, tremors, lack of appetite, abdominal pain, and drooling. Speak to your vet about it. Aspirin. Aspirin can also be toxic to dogs. This is because dogs, especially young dogs, are not able to metabolize aspirin very quickly. It can result in difficulty with blood clotting. Spontaneous bleeding may occur as a result, as well as respiratory problems and kidney failure. When aspirin consumption is suspected, speak to your vet immediately. Baking powder and baking soda. Both of these items are leavening agents which make cakes and batter rise. When a dog consumes large amounts of either one of these items, it could lead to abnormalities in dogs' electrolytes. Be careful in feeding them biscuits and treats that contain these ingredients. Symptoms often include muscle spasm, and again, see your vet immediately, as this can cause congestive heart failure. Chocolate. As people know, chocolate can be fatal to a dog when consumed in large amounts. The reason that chocolate, particularly dark chocolate, can be fatal to dogs is the presence of caffeine, as well as methylxanthine, alkaloids, and thebromine. When we as humans eat chocolate, we are able to digest and then later excrete these items within just a few hours. That is not the case with dogs. It can take much longer for dogs to excrete these items. In some cases, it can take as long as 18 hours. Symptoms include diarrhea and vomiting, as well as muscle twitching, hyperacidity, restlessness, excessive panting, and increased urination. In severe cases, there may also be seizure activity. Again, speak to your vet immediately. Cleaning products. Household cleaners can be particularly dangerous and result in chemical burns, especially on the tongue and esophagus. They should be kept well out of reach of any pets. If you witness a dog eating cleaning products, you should immediately flush out the dog's mouth with plenty of water. This can dilute the chemical and possibly reduce damage. Be sure to also call your vet. If you do not witness the incident but suspect it, watch for signs such as excessive swallowing, pawing in the mouth, drooling, and lack of appetite. Grapes. Many pet owners are not aware of it, but dogs can actually be poisoned by eating grapes as well as raisins. Consumption of grapes and raisins by dogs can result in kidney failure. Without treatment, a dog can die from consuming too many grapes and raisins. The amount depends on the size of the dog. The best chance of survival is to speak to your vet immediately anytime a dog eats large amounts of raisins and grapes. Herbal medications. Herbal medications can be great for humans, but certain ones can be quite dangerous for dogs. Common side effects include vomiting and diarrhea. Check the suitability of any herbal medications thoroughly before giving them to your dog. Iron. Iron is a mineral which can be very important to the production of red blood cells in appropriate amounts. It is frequently included in vitamins and various supplements. However, when ingested in large amounts, it can result in overdose, causing heart and liver damage. Signs commonly begin to show up within a few hours. One of the most common problems with this type of poisoning is the fact that dogs may appear better after a little while. However, Stomach upset will commonly return along with liver failure, shock, and possibly even coma. This is why it is imperative that you contact your vet immediately if you suspect your dog has ingested too much iron. Lead. Lead poisoning can be dangerous to dogs as well as people. Several different sources can lead to ingestion of lead, including paint from old pieces of timber the dog might be chewing on. Lead poisoning can result in diarrhea, vomiting, and seizures. A mother dog with lead poisoning can also excrete it in her milk to puppies. Speak to your vet if you suspect lead poisoning. Signs of toxic poisoning include depression, weakness, tremors, vomiting, problems walking, lameness, abdominal pain, and stiffness. Generally, symptoms disappear within 24 hours. If symptoms are severe, you should speak with your vet. Mistletoe. Eating this plant can cause severe diarrhea and vomiting in a dog. It could also cause respiratory problems and death when a lot of mistletoe is eaten. Again, call your vet immediately. Signs may not be apparent right away, but may appear a few days later. Onion and garlic. Dogs who consume large amounts of onion and garlic may develop severe anemia and die without treatment. Posenia. Irritation to the mouth and stomach are commonly when this plant is ingested. Vomiting may also occur. Generally, this plant has a low level of toxicity and symptoms should disappear soon. Spoiled food. Moldy or spoiled food can also be dangerous to dogs. Unfortunately, most dogs have a tendency to get into the trash. Medical problems can occur when dogs consume food that is spoiled. Just like humans, the dog can also come down with food poisoning. Certain molds can produce tremors in dogs. Other symptoms may include vomiting and diarrhea. If symptoms persist, speak with your vet immediately. Remember, there are also many non-food items within your home to which your dog may gain access that could cause problems. The best course of action is, if you think that your dog has gained access to an item that could possibly be dangerous, is to check the labeling information. Some products will even discuss possible pet toxicity. Do not hesitate to call if there's an 800 number on the package. You should also contact your veterinarian, and remember to take all packaging with you to the vet. Now, a very different but equally important part of your dog training process. Pack structure. What do these two words mean? As human beings, we all live within these two words whether we realize it or not. In any family situation, we have someone who usually has the final say about important issues. In our work situation, we have a boss or leader who controls what is required of us, but who also has the final say in all we do. They also can often have someone above them who guides them and directs them, and that person may also have someone above them who guides and directs them, and it so goes on. This is pack structure. People from the very top downwards. Think of it as a ladder. On every rung is a person with a certain job to do. This continues until we reach the bottom rung where sometimes several people can sit. This is their place on the ladder and in the pack structure pecking order. It is the same in every aspect of life. In the animal kingdom, they have their pack structure. I guess it's in many ways similar to ours. The top dog, for instance, is called the alpha. The second on the next rung down is the beta, and so on throughout the pack, with each dog taking its place within the structure. Sometimes there will be occasions when a dog wishes to change its position in the pack and move up a rung. And when this occurs, it will challenge the dog above it. It may fight it or show it in some other way it wants to take its place. If it is more dominant and stronger of the two, it will move the challenged dog off its rung and immediately take its place, causing the challenged dog to move downwards while its challenger moves upwards. If the dogs are happy where their place is on the ladder, then things will probably remain as they are. In a domestic situation where you have more than one dog, watch them and you will see that they have a pack structure pecking order also. If you have 2 or more dogs, you have a pack and only one can be the alpha. It is then up to you to note when one is in charge and treat it accordingly. Top dog comes first. Think about the respect you would give to your managing director, then down the ranks with the bottom dog. Recognize their position in the pack at all times, and a quick pat to the top dog first when they come to you together is in order. You are now recognizing their the dog pecking order pack structure. This understanding of pack structure you now have must be taken into relationship that your dog has with your family, with you and your family rather, and you may need to work on this to bring it to the correct order. By understanding pack structure, your chances of having problems with your dog are minimized. Remember, as pack leader, you must be consistent, constant, calm, confident, and quiet. Not a bully, rowdy, bossy, and irresponsible. The dog must always recognize a human pack leader. This person should automatically become the leader of the whole pack, dogs and people included. This leadership role will only take place if the leader within the human pack understands and takes control of the alpha dog. Any other dogs in the pack will follow the top dog in all things. It means ensuring that all commands given by the leader to this top dog at any time are obeyed. Training for the dog becomes a really important issue here. In actual fact, the pack structure all around in a domestic situation has to be like a ladder. It becomes a ladder of life. It should be adults, then teenage children, then dog, then any young children. This means that young children, especially under the age of 10 to 12 years, shouldn't give any corrections to the dog in any way, but can and will be great mates with the dog still. In the dog's mind, he will see the young children as being beneath him. He feels, therefore, that they are not mentally or emotionally able to be above him in this pecking order. If all members of the family understands this and ensure that that in any correction or misbehavior from the dog is only done by the adults in the family, then peace will reign. Children have to be taught what is involved in owning and being responsible for a dog. An important part of this is the need to be fully trained in what pack structure is all about. Now that you have some of the idea of the concept of pack structure and how important it is in understanding and training your dog to fit in the family structure, we will now focus on a little understood subject called anthropomorphism. What is anthropomorphism, you might ask? It is the humanizing of something or a creature which is not human. So why do we need to understand this with our relationship to our dogs? Anthropomorphism is trying to humanize our pet, or turn it into a little human being. After all, we adopted this little pup into our family, didn't we? So why not make the pup into the child we possibly never had? It is the humanizing of a dog which causes many of the problems we have with our canine friends. As an example, a woman with a 2-year-old poodle brought home a new pup. She placed a new addition onto the resident poodle bed, and when the older dog snapped at the pup, she yelled at the 2-year-old and slapped it, telling it, "You're a naughty boy. You should learn to love the darling little puppy as he's your new brother." Later, the woman expected the older dog to share not only its bed, but also its dinner plate. Poor 2-year-old and poor puppy. The pup is certainly going to get some beatings from its older brother as it is growing up. Examples like this show a combination of lack of understanding of pack structure and the hideous results of anthropomorphizing your dog. Anthropomorphize a dog and it is not happy. Not really. Sure, it can do anything it likes, but these are the dogs which eventually finish up in animal shelters or even put to sleep by the vet because the family no longer have any joy in owning them. They have become a pain in the neck. It is more common in the smaller breeds because people can pick them up all the time. You can't do that with a larger breed, thereby elevating them in the pack, saying, "Oh, it's only a little, it doesn't really matter," or just loving it so much they don't want to give any adverse criticism to the dog no matter how it's behaving. Poor little dog. It doesn't really understand where its place is in life, and let alone in the pack. These articles relates very much to how you handle the previous one on pack structure. Is your dog having problems living with you? If so, you need right at this moment to do something about any problems that have arisen. Remember, problems just don't disappear. They escalate and get worse as time goes by. Dogs need structure. They need to have boundaries set. They need to keep within those boundaries. Just like children do, no boundaries, no discipline when necessary, and no understanding what do you have. A delinquent in your hands? Possible. Highly probable, I would say. Anthropomorphism is so detrimental to a dog that we really need to learn as much as we can about it. We can't emphasize enough the importance of reading it and understanding it. This will make your companion and yourself so much easier to live with. We must throughout the life of the dog remain consistent and constant in manner. Boundaries need to be set and adhered to as early as the dog's life as possible. It needs to know what it can do and what it can't. Then it's a happy pooch. Each family member needs to be advised of what the boundaries are for the dog, and they need to always adhere to them. Do not have one family saying no and another saying yes. Contradictory to me, to the dog, disastrous. Pack structure or pecking order is of prime importance here. It is also very important that specific boundaries are set for the dogs which have been anthropomorphized when people bring babies home to avoid any chance of your baby being nipped or bitten by the dog. These dangers can be easily averted by reading and adopting the correct training techniques. Always try to remember this beautiful little companion of yours is not, and I repeat, is not the child you may never have had. Love it unconditionally, but don't humanize it. It doesn't eat, think, talk, or walk like you. We've said this early on, but it is important enough for me to repeat here. It has more canine instincts and heritage. It is more wolf in those instincts, etc. Its psychology is different to ours, so treat it like a human and you will never have the companion you need and want. Treat it with courtesy, compassion, correction when necessary, and love, and you will have a joy forever. It's up to you. Because we are human beings with human compassion for all small things, then we have to understand, or then we have to be doubly careful, rather, of the small breeds. A favorite saying is, it's only little, it doesn't understand. Yes, it does. It has the same brain capacity of any larger breeds. It is only small in stature, but it thinks it's huge. It has 42 teeth, the same as a large breed. It's just that its bite is not as large, but it could still hurt. Often when dogs, one small and one large, have a fight, everyone seems to blame the larger dog. More often than enough, it is the smaller dog that starts any confrontation. This is because it thinks it's larger than it actually is, and it eyeballs a larger dog, until the larger dog says, "I've had enough of you, little pipsqueak," and reacts to the challenge the smaller dog is throwing out. We need to be aware here of what may be happening and turn the smaller dog away. Just walk away and confrontations can be averted. Watch next time the small meet the large when you are taking your dog for a walk. Read the dog's body language. You may be surprised at what you will take note of. So now you should have a fairly clear idea about the need of how to feed your dog safe, nutritious foods, to understand the importance of pack structure in your home, and not to try humanizing your favorite four-legged friend. How can we help you to achieve these things? Sharda's biggest passion in life is helping people care for the dogs, and we believe that no dog owner should have to go through headaches, stress, time, and extravagant expenses to have a good dog, or to have a good dog that's a great companion. The stress of a misbehaved dog can take its toll on the entire family and home. But don't let that trick you into spending obscene amounts of money on training your pet just to see little results. Are we saying there's no place for professional dog training courses or pre-packaged dog foods? No, we're definitely not. Of course, they have their benefits. But in the majority of cases, you can train your dog better at home, by yourself, and it's quicker, easier, and much less expensive. Plus, it is relatively easy to either make your own dog food at home, or if time is short, to make sure you read the pre-packaged labels carefully to ensure you're getting a safe, nutritious, healthy dog food. To help you along and show you how to implement all of the above strategies we have discussed today, we have a very special webinar offer for you, which not only includes Sharda's DIY Dog Training Package 2nd Edition with bonuses, but also an extra set of bonus books on choosing and making the right food for your dog, help with dog allergies, and tips for dealing with the finicky eater and overweight dogs. This package will not only address the problems we have discussed today, but also dozens of other challenges that you will face over the months ahead from your four-legged friend. Now, Sharda's second edition DIY dog training package normally sells for a special 49% discounted price of $57. However, today, as a special bonus for our webinar attendees, we are adding at no cost a special diet dog recipes for common health problems, wholesome homemade dog biscuit recipes, Sharda's Dog Allergy Help for a Best Friend ebook, and of course the Sharda's Book of Tips for the Finicky Eater. That's a further 56% of value for free as a thank you to all live webinar attendees, which equates to a massive 66% discount. We are 100% sure that this package will over-exceed your expectations and provide the best resources you can find when it comes to at-home dog training. That's why every ebook you'll ever receive from Sharda is backed by a 100%, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If for any reason whatsoever you decide you'd like a refund within the first 60 days, you will immediately re-return your money, no questions asked. So take advantage of our special webinar offer today and get a massive 66% off the combination package of the DIY dog training package plus the special webinar bonus of the special diet dog recipes for common health problems, wholesome homemade dog biscuit recipes, Sharda's Dog Allergy Help for Your Best Friend ebook, and of course the Sharda's Book of Tips for the Finicky Eater. That's a genuine savings of over $111.30 for today's special webinar deal. Simply copy the blue link on the screen and paste it into your browser now to check out the details. When your purchase is complete, simply send a copy of the ClickBank receipt to webinars@shardabakersdogworld.com to request your bonuses. A special download link will be emailed to you to download the bonus books and audio. And once again, due to the high number of registrants for the webinar, many of those who registered may not have been able to log on, or maybe the timing wasn't suitable for them. So since we are recording this webinar, what we intend to do is to make a replay available to all those who registered. To make sure it is fair for all, we will email everyone with a link to the replay and keep the special bonus offer open for 48 hours after it is sent. After that 48 hours, the special bonus deal will be withdrawn, so don't delay in checking out the special offer right now. Simply copy the link on the screen and paste it into your browser and to check out the details. We also wanted to share some of the few of the many hundreds of testimonials she has received, or Sharda has received, from her satisfied customers. And these are all real people. Due to time constraints, as much as I wanted to read each letter, they're also available on the website, so let me just read the highlights of what each person said. Patty Pierce from California said, "I would recommend the amazing materials you have put together for any dog owner." Phyllis Weaver from New Zealand said, "Your guidance has made such a dramatic improvement already." Patricia Margits from Louisiana said, "The techniques of managing aggressive behavior and housekeeping and housebreaking were right on the money." Joan Mancuso said, "I wish I had known about the dangers of the dog foods earlier." And Lou Anna said, "Thank you for all that wonderful information that you worked very hard on." And just a reminder that all webinar attendees will be sent a download link to their registration email address to claim their complimentary ebook on managing the barking dog. So look out for this email. Thank you all for attending, and I look forward to seeing you all again in our next dog training webinar. That concludes the formal part, or training presentation part, and I will now hand you over to Paul to address some of the questions you have raised so far today. Paul, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Jerry. That was very good. Welcome, everyone. I'd just like to address a few of the questions that have come up here. We've had there's one here from Suzanne. She's actually asked a couple of questions, which is good. I was told apples are okay to help with constipation. Is that wrong? One of the things that may not have been quite clear, the apple fruit itself is quite okay for the dog to eat. And the big problem comes with the seeds and stems and leaves of the apple. So will it help with constipation? Yes, to a certain extent, but there are probably other things that you could take for it. But the bad part of the apple from the dog's point of view, the seeds, the leaves and the stems. So if you get rid of all that and then let the dog eat the fruit itself, then there's no problem with it. It should be fine. Suzanne asked another question. Is it too humanizing to let the dog sleep in your bed with you? Yes, that is not a very good idea at all, Suzanne. The problem with that is a couple of things. The dog, it's certainly over-humanizing the dog, but also the dog gets then in a situation where it sees itself as the pack leader, either equivalent to you or above you in the pecking order, and you will find over time that that will have a detrimental effect on your control of the dog. The dog will start to take control. So that's point one. It's certainly not a good idea from the point of view of future training of the dog. The second thing is that it's generally not very healthy to have a dog sleeping in the bed with you. Depending on how it molts, you can get all sorts of problems, and if you're anyways inclined towards being an asthmatic or anything, then it can cause problems. So I certainly wouldn't recommend that you sleep in the bed with your dog. One here from Deborah. I have problems with my Yorkie when I'm sitting on the couch. With my Yorkie, if someone comes to give me something, he growls. What's up? Quite a common situation, Deborah. That's basically the Yorkie showing his protective attitude towards you. He's certainly, the closer we get to our dogs, the more protective they become. And he's asserting his authority to say, she's mine, get away from her. You could, depending on whether he's just sitting on the couch, depending on the other things you do, you could certainly be over-humanizing him as well. And that's the thing you need to look out for. But the best way around that is to really socialize your dog a bit more. Get him out to mix with other people when you're walking him or in a dog park. Get him to socialize with both people and other dogs, and that will take some time, but let him see that they're not a threat to you, and go easy on the over-humanization that we tend to give, particularly with small dogs. Yorkies are very cuddly little things, so very, very easy to hang on to and to put too much time and effort into humanizing them. So just be careful of that. Any home remedies for cleaning tartar on teeth? There's one of the things I find that's good is a mixture of sodium bicarbonate and lemon juice. That generally works fairly well. You can brush that on. It's quite harmless to the dog, but you can certainly brush that brush the dog's teeth with that. You may find he doesn't like it a bit at first and will reject it, but just make sure you wash it off thoroughly afterwards. But baking soda, which is sodium bicarbonate, mixed with a bit of lemon juice, that'll generally have a good effect on the tartar. That was from Mary Jo. What else have we got here? Tracy had her hand up earlier. I don't know whether you had a question, Tracy, or whether you just accidentally hit the hand up button, but I can't see any question in here from you. If you did have a question, could you type it into the box there, please, Tracy? What about giving peanut butter to the dog? That's from Hugo. I've seen a lot of products that have peanut butter in them. Yeah, peanut butter is a very common thing used. Dogs love it, Hugo. The only thing you have to be careful of is that you don't want the nuts themselves in there. If it's a very, very finely dispersed peanut spread, it's okay. But I tend to think in terms of minimising peanut butter. Certainly if you get a commercial peanut butter and it's got particles in, nut particles in it, that can cause problems with the dog. But certainly a lot of the treats that are around have peanut butter in them. And generally in the small amounts that are given, it's not a problem. If you give it far too much, then you will certainly run up against a problem. One from Mary Jo here. How do I keep my dogs from barking when I get company first arrive at the door? Mary Jo, we covered that in a fair bit of detail on one of the earlier webinars. I'm not sure whether you should have got the replay from it if you were on one of the previous webinars. If not, we probably haven't got time to go into that at the moment. It's a time-consuming process. It doesn't take a long time, but you've got to be very consistent and constant with it. Basically, taking the dog up to the door, you go outside, let it bark, you come back in again, you have to give it a treat when it stops barking, and there's a fair bit of time involved with it over a period of some weeks. But it's certainly a process that can be done. That's well covered in the manual, actually, stopping dogs barking at a door, and we did address it at a previous webinar. So I won't go into any great detail on that at the moment because we haven't got time, but it's certainly covered in the manual. Susanna again, one last question. My picky eater Yorkie loves vegetables. I give her some frozen vegetables as treats. Is that okay? Yeah, that's no problem, Suzanne. If she likes eating frozen vegetables, vegetables are good for the dogs, as well as you need a balance of the protein, carbohydrates, and fats in your dog's diet. So vegetables are certainly a big part of that. Frozen vegetables are fine without any problem. It's a good idea actually as a treat. I think that covers most of them. That's another one from Hugo. I'm not sure about that, Hugo. My friend's dog, now that it is Christmas, likes to eat the lower branches of the Christmas tree. I don't think it'd be very good for him, Hugo, because Christmas trees can contain a lot of oils, fairly strong oils actually, and that may have a detrimental effect on the dog. I'm not sure about that one, but I would discourage him from doing it. Yes, it may be if he's eating the leaves of the tree, you'll generally find he's lacking something. It could be there's chlorophyll in those trees. There's all sorts of things in the leaves, but pine needles are generally not very good, and can contain a lot of toxins. So I keep him away from that, and see if you can find out. Maybe talk to your vet or get some tests done. You'll probably find that he's lacking in a mineral in his diet that he's getting from the Christmas tree. But I'd check that with your vet. I really am not sure about that one. One here from Deborah. My Yorkie is a year-old. Can the humanisation be undone at this stage? I'm guilty of spoiling him. Yes, Deborah, you can. Certainly it will take a little time, but you've got to start. The best way to do that is to really start asserting yourself as the pack leader, and you have to learn to say no at the right times. So you need to be strong, be firm, and still give it plenty of love and attention, but when it's done something wrong, or it's done something that's got some habit that you don't like, be very, very firm with it, and resist the urge to say, oh yeah, nice little doggy, yeah, he's all right, I'll let him get away with that. It's just like a child. The more you let the child get away with things, the more it will stretch you and take you to the point of no return. So be firm, be strong, give it plenty of love and attention. Don't totally change overnight, because the dog won't know what's happening. So over a period of a few weeks, you can certainly dehumanize him and get him out of the spoiled habit. But you have to assert yourself as as the pack leader, and he has to be aware of that. Okay. Just checking through here, see if we've missed any others. No, I think that's covered pretty much most of them. Yeah, I'd just like to draw your attention to to that deal we've got up there, which is a Christmas deal, pre-Christmas deal, fantastic value actually. For $57, you're getting all of the normal do-it-yourself dog training package, plus the bonus ebooks that are listed through, and a very, very considerable discount. I'd also like to raise, so please click the link and have a look. You at least check out the offer that's there and see all the things that are included. A very, very good deal. And that manual on DIY dog training really Sharda covers everything in there. There's very little that's not covered in that book, and you'll see all the testimonials there. She's had hundreds and probably thousands of people by now that have given her a lot of compliments on how good the book is and how they've been able to turn their dogs around. So have a look at the deal and see what's there. The other thing I'll mention is, I mentioned on our last webinar that we have our Sharda Baker's Dog World magazine for the iPad and iPhone that was launched recently. We've now got 3 editions live, and the 4th edition will be coming out in the next probably 1 to 2 days. So I would encourage you, at the moment we're offering free subscription for that magazine, so I would encourage you to have a look at that, and the links were in the last webinar, and it's available in the iTunes store under the newsstand category for lifestyle pets. So newsstand, lifestyle, pets category, Sharda Baker's Dog World magazine. Okay, I'd like to thank you all very much for attending today. We're pretty much gone a little bit over time, but that's okay. I'm glad we were able to get to all your questions. So I'll sign off and say thank you very much for attending. Cheers for now, and hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year on behalf of Sharda and all the team. This will be our last webinar before the new year, so we wish you all the very, very best. and don't spoil your animals too much with the wrong kind of treats. Make sure you look after them. Bye for now. Take care.